Namaste everyone, welcome back to my channel Spirituality from Soul. In my today's video, I will talk about how soul choose next birth or next life. Um, so a soul always had an option, like what sort of relation or a life or a lesson a soul wants to learn in the next birth, or basically what do a soul want to achieve in the next life. Some soul comes with a purpose, and after like fulfilling that purpose, they want to go towards the liberation, like in the where they just want to come out of the birth death cycle. So they will just want to get liberated from this death birth cycle. So that's what they want to achieve in their next birth, and that's why a soul always look for it, like what type so always check what type of relation or what do they want in their next birth or a next life. So that's why they haven't like so that's why they decides what they want to do in the next one. So let me give you an example that will make more sense. Soul decided that it want to go into the spirituality at some point in the next birth, and they want to make sure that the family which they are going to go with, in which they are going to take birth in the next life, should be kind of a religious family. And because if, say for example, they're born into some like people who are not into like religious or spirituality at all, obviously in that scenario the soul will struggle to fulfill the purpose. So that's when if soul has decided, then okay, this is what I want to achieve in my next life. So they will look for a family who are, and like who is a religious family. They go to the religious places and things like that, and that will help the soul to achieve the purpose or the which the soul is looking for in the next life. On the other hand, and say for example, soul has already entered a body of a, like a fetus. I won't say fetus, but the baby is still in the mother's womb. So because as we all know that like after when the fetus or the baby inside the mother's womb is approximately 2 months old or slightly more than 2 months old, then that's when the soul entered into the um, body of that baby. And so soul thought that okay, this is what I want to go higher in my spirituality in the next birth. And so this soul decided to go into the body of a baby who is still inside the mother's womb, because you must have heard where like the the baby start learning inside the mother's body as well. So whatever mother or the pregnant lady is doing during her pregnancy, and whatever that mother is thinking or doing or whatever it is, the child can sense everything, even though that baby, not that baby is still inside the womb, but that baby can sense everything. And I've felt it myself, because when I was pregnant with my daughter, I have noticed all these things. And whatever I've done, that I can still see the things in my daughter. So yeah, uh, so that only that, because the soul is there in the body, and soul is listening to everything what a mother is saying, what mother is doing. If mother is more towards the if mother is more towards into like the spiritualities, mother is listening to lot of spiritual videos and things like that, then when the baby will be born, after the baby will born, you will see all those things in the baby as well. Because I've recently read somewhere that a baby a mother used to sing some mantras when she was pregnant, and after the child was after that baby was born, that after when that baby started talking, the baby was that that he was also, I won't say baby anymore, but when baby becomes a toddler and started talking, the toddler was chanting those mantras really well, because that because when he was inside, when the body was inside the mother's womb, that's when they learned it. So that's why it always says that whatever that mother is doing during her pregnancy, that makes a lot of effect on the child, because the soul is already entered and soul is listening to everything what mother is saying. So I hope you find it useful, but yeah, I won't go into much more detail. So what I was trying to say is that so the soul decided that I want to go into higher, I want to go higher on spirituality side in my next birth, and so soul came into the body of the baby inside the mother's womb. But as the time passes by, as the baby grows older and older, the soul realizes that the mother or the family that soul is going to born into are not very spiritual. In fact, instead, the mother is more inclined towards like drugs and say alcohol and things like that. So soul sometimes takes a hard decision to leave that body as well, even though the baby wasn't born yet. But sometimes the soul leaves the body halfway through or things like that. So then that's when we say that that pregnant lady had a miscarriage at maybe 8th month or 9th month, because just before the baby was due, the lady had a miscarriage, the pregnant lady had a miscarriage, because soul decided that in this body the soul is not going to achieve the purpose. So that's first scenario. So that's how soul decides the next birth. The second scenario is where soul decided that they in my next birth they want to make a change. So let me give you an example here. um, that's a very unfortunate example, but I'm just trying to make a sense like what soul wants to achieve in this birth, through this birth. So um, a girl had a rape, and that girl went through a lot of pain and things like that. Okay, I mean, the girl was brutally tortured and then was raped and things like that. So that body has actually suffered a lot, and but soul, because soul knows everything in advance, soul the purpose of the soul was to make a change or to raise the awareness among different souls um, through that birth. So that's why soul decided to go through that pain as well. And uh, so and and uh, you must have seen that whenever we heard a news of such a brutal rape and things like that, then like lot of people come on the street with a candle march and things like that, and then and because people are so hurt by that news, and they just like because obviously when even I've read so many news like it, and it affects you a lot, and it really you can feel the pain what that girl has went through when when she was being raped and things like that. So some people think that like why soul has like decided to go through that pain. So that because those soul have decided that in their next birth they want to do something which is going to make a effect on a larger scale, so that's going to raise the consciousness of the larger audience or the larger people. And so whenever something like this happen, there are like things that, like I mentioned before, people go out on the street with a candle march for the justice of that girl, and then the government made some strict laws to make the change. So obviously the purpose of the soul has achieved. That's what soul wanted to achieve in the next cycle, even though that soul has went through a lot of pain where the girl was being raped and thing. But what was the overall purpose? The overall purpose was to bring the change, and that change has happened when when it has raised the consciousness of many people, when the government has made strict laws against the rape and things like that. So the soul has achieved the purpose. So that's the second scenario, and the third scenario is where um, the soul has um, the soul has come back for a revenge. So again, let me give you an example here. um, Soul is having a peaceful and a happy life with the family. Everything is going great. Like the soul has a so say for example it's a male soul. So they had a that male soul has a wife and children and things. Everything is going smooth and everything, but someone unfortunate thing happened and that soul was murdered by someone. So, and obviously, when the body is dead, the body was murdered. Someone murdered the body. The body is dead. Obviously, if the body is dead, soul can't do anything. So, and soul um, become really angry, and because the soul couldn't achieve the purpose yet, and now soul has to leave the body because of this murder happened. And so that's when soul decides to take a revenge in the next birth. So this is this is something, the real life example. I've read it somewhere on the internet somewhere, where this the child was born, and that child was like really young, I think 4 or 5 years old, and that child has tell the whole like child remember everything from the past life, where where he told the court, I think, and that how he was murdered in the previous birth, and what happened to that child in the previous birth, and then the court gave him, and the court gave the punishment to the culprits in the next birth. So yeah, so this is also happens. The purpose of this soul was to take the revenge from the people who murdered him in the previous past life, in the previous life. So that's also one of the scenarios. Obviously, no one remembers anything from the past life, but if the soul has a purpose, then they'll remember everything. So I hope you find it useful. In one of my next videos, I will talk about the karmic relations as well, where the soul comes to in the karmic relation, due to karmic relations. And so yeah, if you like this video, then please give a thumbs up, and if you have any comments, please put it in the comments box below. Also, please subscribe to my channel, and thank you for listening. Thank you.